It's that time of the year again. I signed up for my next half-distance triathlon, which I want to finish in under 4 hours and 45 minutes. In this video, we'll be creating a plan for that in order to train in a focused and goal-oriented manner. Now, my last race in August, I finished in 5 hours, 20 minutes and 31 seconds. And here you can see the splits and times for each of the disciplines. Now, in my opinion, it's important to know kind of your starting point and your goal, because then it's easy to work backwards from there. And as I said, my goal for my next race is 4 hours and 45 minutes. Now, there are two main areas where I see most potential for improvement. The first one is the bike. Now, since it was my first half Ironman, I took it quite easy, to be honest. My average pace was just under 34 kilometers per hour, but I think I could easily maintain 37.5 kilometers per hour-ish. And because the course was very crowded and the rules, and it being my first time, I couldn't really pass when I wanted or go as fast as I wanted, so there's definitely a lot of room for improvement here. Now, the second area where there's a lot of improvement to do is the run. My original goal for the half Ironman was to do the half marathon in 1 hour 30 minutes, but I ended up doing it in 1 hour 46 minutes. So I think it's a good idea to stick to that original goal and get my run down to 1.5 hours. Now, that means I would have to run a 4-minute 15 to 4-minute 20 second kilometer. Last time my legs felt very heavy after the bike, even if the bike itself didn't feel too rough. So there's definitely a lot of work to do there. And thirdly, I want to improve my swim and T1 a little bit, but honestly they are not my main focus, as the biggest time gains are in the bike and the run. But I think a 33-34 minute swim and a 6-minute T1 are realistic. Now, based on all of this, these are my splits that I'm aiming for in my next race. That would give me a finish time of 4 hours and 41 minutes, just under the 4 hours and 45 minute goal. Now, before we jump into the actual plan, if you have done a race like this or are experienced in any way and you see any blind spots or flaws with my plans or something to improve, please feel free to leave a comment down below and share your knowledge. I would really appreciate it. Let's get into the plan. I have exactly 28 weeks to train, and for my last race my training volume was in total exactly 100 hours, and this year I think it's realistic to at least double that. I'm aiming for anywhere between 200 to 250 hours of training, which would give me an average of 8 to 9 hours per week. And I'm basing this on actually Joel Friel. He says that in order to perform on a high level in a race that lasts from 3 to 8 hours, you need 600 to 1000 annual training hours. Now, for me, that would mean I would have to train between 317 and 500 something hours, which is quite a lot. So I won't reach exactly that level, but 200 to 250 hours is realistic for me. Now, the 8 to 9 hours, that's an average estimate over the whole 28-week period. In the beginning now, some weeks might be a little bit shorter volume-wise, and then it increases as time goes by. Speaking of that, if you want to see how I improve towards my goal and how my training is going, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. But now let's talk about the training periods. In the same way as last year, I will divide the training season, these 28 weeks, into 4 periods: the base, build, peak, and race periods. Now each training period has its very own purpose. In the base period, I want to build a good and solid foundation. On the bike, I want to be able to maintain 200 plus watts very comfortably without getting too fatigued. And while running, I want to start off slow. Last year when I was training my running, almost every session I ran way too fast. So now I want to build a good foundation, keep my heart rate low and kind of progress gradually. At the end of the period, I'm very happy if I have a solid aerobic foundation to build from. Now, in the build period, my goal for the bike and run is to increase my speed and power respectively, also while managing my fatigue. And here I will also start swimming again. And the reason I do it only now in the build period, which starts around April, is because just of the time it takes to get to the pool and the logistics. I feel like my time is better spent training something else. Plus, I estimate that 3 to 4 months is plenty enough for me to reach my swimming goal. And in this period, I also want to focus on brick workouts and incorporating nutrition, so I get that earlier than last year. Last year I didn't end up having too many brick workouts, which I really noticed, especially in the run. So those will be a key thing that I will be focusing on this year. And this period I consider a success if I'm able to maintain a very high pace on the bike and run. Now in the peak period, the focus will be on performing my disciplines at race pace and really getting comfortable with training at the pace, with really getting comfortable with the pace at which I will have to perform in the race. That was hard to say. Also here, just continuing with the bricks workouts, and then since it's kind of the start of summer, I also want to start incorporating some open water swims whenever it's possible. Then the last race period, basically the same as peak period, but here a bigger focus on just rest and recovery and just maintaining that level of fitness that I have built up until then. The goal is to just feel ready, confident and relaxed for the race. Yeah, last minute there's not much you can do anymore if you haven't prepared properly. My main kind of focus areas for this training season, based on my experience before and kind of my intuition about what is good to train, as I mentioned already, 2 big focus areas, the bike and run, because those have the most potential for time gains, and also brick workouts, especially with this combination of the bike and run, so that I don't bonk or feel fatigued or hit a wall while running. And then actually, since my race is in the middle of summer, 26th of July, it can be very hot. I remember last year in my home city where the race is, on the day of the race, it was 30 degrees Celsius, straight sunshine and no cloud or shade. So really, like, heat training will be a very important part of my training this year. Now let's talk about the weekly schedules for my training. Okay, as for the weekly splits, for the base period I have planned 2 MMA sessions, 2 gym sessions, 2 bike sessions and 1 run. MMA basically just because I like going and I want to go there for a while, but then beginning of April probably I will drop it when my build period starts. Lower body and upper body, like gym sessions, it's just to build strength so that I perform better in each of the disciplines, and I've been actually going to the gym now since the beginning of November and I have really noticed a big increase in strength. And then bike and run just reflect on the disciplines I want to improve the most. And then actually when it comes to the build, peak and race periods, I have the exact same weekly schedule. Here I have, let's see, 2 gym sessions, 3 bike sessions, 2 run sessions and 1 swim per week. Here again, I put most emphasis on the disciplines I wanna improve the most. In all 3 periods, the build, peak and race periods, I have the basically exactly same weekly schedule. The difference there will just be in the weekly volume and intensity of the workouts. That's kind of where the difference between each of the periods come. So for instance, in the peak period, the intensity might be higher than, for instance, in the beginning of the build period. And also it's good to just keep a routine. So that's all for the weekly splits. So that's roughly the plan and weekly splits for this year. Now obviously I will do my best to try and stick to the plan, but of course it's very important also to stay flexible, because as I said last year, it's better to stay flexible, and if I feel like I'm very tired or busy and have stuff going on, it's better to take just a day or 2 off than pushing and then getting sick or burnt out and missing a longer period of training, because at the end of the day, I'm still working full time. I'm making these videos also. I have other things to do in my life. So it's very important just to be mindful of the balance and do your best, or do my best. So I'm sure I will be able to stick to the plan better this year than maybe last year. I had, especially June was very off. I was a little bit sick and so on. So I think this will be a good training year. Now, I won't plan any individual sessions this far beforehand. Those I will plan more on the go and as I'm progressing. And also it really depends on the specific day, if I'm busier or not. Sometimes I might do a longer workout, sometimes I might do a shorter workout depending on my everyday life. So I won't go into that much detail as of now. That's this year's plan. Feel free to let me know your thoughts or opinions in the comments down below. And also, if you have started a plan, share that one with me and tell me also what your weekly splits are. It would be very interesting to read about those. But yeah, thank you so much for... Oh, I have a meeting soon. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video or want to support me, leave a like down below and subscribe to follow my training journey and see my race on race day. See you in the next one. Let's get it.